this is today's weather. As you can see, the so-called beast from the east has apparently got to us, and it's not looking like it wants to stop anytime soon. Looks like I'm filming indoors today, and yeah, I'm going nowhere today. I'm just going to stay indoors and look at the pretty snow and maybe do a video or two for you. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. We've currently got half a foot of snow out there and it's still coming down, so I'm staying in the warm. I'm going to do some recording. You're probably going to see this look quite a few times, but I'm not going to apologise because I quite like it. Okay, so today we are going to be going through my top 5 drugstore palettes and my top 5 higher end palettes, the ones that I reach for most and the ones that I would recommend most if you're looking to start your collection off, or you just want to know what I use most. Here we go then. Yeah, let's stick the song in anyway. When will I be YouTube famous? Oh, itchy nose. Okay. Oh, and my eye is deciding to water on a day when I've got a lot of makeup on. Fabulous. Right, I'm going to start off with my drugstore palettes. And my first one is an I Heart Makeup, and it's chocolate and peaches. Yes, we know, it's a copy of the Too Faced chocolate bar. We're aware of this. But, just cover the mirror up so I don't blind you. It's really, really pretty. A nice mix of mattes and shimmers. Doesn't, just put my nose straight in it, well done. Doesn't smell like peaches though, which is good. And has one of these things which are so easy to lose. Just print it on the packaging, will you? To tell you the names of all the colours. This one blends really nicely, in terms of pigmentation. Doesn't go on too heavy, but it is buildable. So it starts off subtle and builds up to as strong as you want it to. Lasts pretty well all day, not a huge amount of creasing. Get it from Superdrug or from Tan Beauty. I've got quite a few of these melted chocolate ones, and I like them. I wouldn't keep buying them if they were crap, basically. Right, moving on to my next one. This is a bit of a cheat because you can't really get it in drugstores over here. If you're in the UK, the only place you can get it is the Colourpop website. However, providing you spend, I think it's less than 15 quid or about 18 bucks, you don't get charged any tax on it when it arrives, which is great. And this is, it says cute AF, but it's actually the Yes Please palette, and it doesn't have a mirror, but that's not an issue. It's, if you're into all of these warm toned Natasha Denona Sunset palette, anything like that, this is going to be right up your street. The only thing is, this white packaging gets dirty so quickly no matter how careful you are. Again, a nice mix of mattes and shimmers in this palette. I was actually wearing this in, I think it was my CYO foundation review, so you can see from that it, through all my check-ins, the colour remained strong throughout the day. It didn't fade, didn't crease, didn't go anywhere. Definitely, definitely. And it's such a great size for travelling as well. I mean, you can see it's tiny, but there's a lot of pigment and this packs a really good punch. Definitely one to look out for. Now, you would have also seen this palette because it's in the first tutorial video I did, and it's a Makeup Revolution. It's £4, and it's the Reloaded Iconic division. And you can see it is a bang on Subculture dupe, even down to this one, which has a pink duochrome. Again, good amount of mattes in this one. One of the problems, I say problem, one of the things I've noticed a lot with a lot of the Makeup Revolution ones, they do have an awful lot of shimmer shadows, which, as you will know if you watch my Tan Beauty haul video, doesn't bother me. I can do a look completely with shimmers. I don't need mattes as a transition shade, but I know a lot of people do struggle with that, don't like the look and prefer mattes. This has got a good amount of mattes in it, and unlike Subculture, it doesn't have a huge amount of fallout. And you get change from £5. It's a no-brainer, it really is. My next one is actually the first ever Makeup Revolution palette I bought, and it's this one, which is Neutrals versus Neutrals. That's the spelling of it. That was the little brush thing going for Burton. But you can see, again, it's very much following the warm toned sort of. I mean, this actually predates the Tarte Toasted. It predates the Urban Decay Vice Heat palette, or Blazing palette, or whatever it was called. But I really, really like this. I mean, you can see from, you know, I've really gone in with some of these. Again, I really wish they wouldn't do this. I just wish I'd happily pay an extra £1 if you printed the damn names on the packaging. These are too easy to lose. Way too easy to lose. But again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's about 5 or 6 shimmers in here. So, you know, enough mattes. It's very similar in terms of tone to the first palette, the peachy one. But this has more neutrally taupes and browns, which I love. You know, for an everyday look, you know, 5-10 minutes, get out the door, got a busy day, can't be fussed with mucking about with makeup. It's definitely worth a go. And again, this last one's a little bit of a cheat as well, because you can't actually get it anywhere but online. It's a new indie company called Blush Tribe, and this is the Psychedelic palette. And you'll see why. Look at those colours. I mean, just look at it. How beautiful are they? This is cheaper than the Morphe one. Very little fallout. I will be using this probably tomorrow now to do an eye look, to show you a nice, bright, summery, Pride inspired, if you like, look with this palette. This was, I think, £14. So, as I said, cheaper than the Morphe one. Nice plastic packaging, a bit bigger, obviously, than, you know, your little Colourpop one. But my word, is it worth it? The colours on this are astounding. They really, really are. It's one of the absolute best palettes I've used in terms of pigment payoff and colour. So I will, if I remember, in the description I will put a link to this, because obviously it's, you know, to save you having to go hunting for it, I'll try and put the link down for it. The other one's pretty easy to find, to be quite honest. So that's my top 5 in terms of high street, lower cost, drugstore palettes. Now we get into the higher cost, higher end palettes. These are my top 5, starting off with a black owned makeup brand, which is Juvia's Place. and this is the Zulu palette. And you can see, again, I like colourful palettes. I like colour. I've got neutral palettes. I've got a lot of neutral palettes, but I've also got an awful lot of palettes that have colour in. Now these pans are massive compared to. Let's grab a colourful one because that's the easiest to open with one hand. Right, this is your normal max sized pan, and this is your Juvia's Place pan. Huge. So if you get the Masquerade palette, it'll be this size pan. If you get the mini Masquerade, it's this size pan. Personally, the amount of palettes I've got, I'm never going to get through all of this. Never. So I would have been quite happy with the smaller one and for it to be a bit cheaper. But that being said, again, love this. Love, 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 love this. The pigmentation goes on a bit quicker with this one than the Blush Tribe, so it actually makes it easier to make mistakes. So to some extent I actually prefer the Blush Tribe one to this, but obviously this is much easier to travel with. Really, really beautiful. And I like supporting black owned makeup brands. I've got I think I've got 3 Juvia's palettes now. I've got a couple of lipsticks from Beauty Bakery. I've got an indie black owned brand lipstick. Be Real, I think, is the company for that one. So yeah, it's I like supporting black owned businesses. I might be like Casper, but I like a lot of colour. So palettes intended for people of colour usually have a damn sight more pigmentation than ones that are aimed at everybody. So if you want punchy colour, you want Juvia's. My next one, it's meant to be limited edition, but it keeps coming back. And yes, I'm aware there are issues with Tarte, particularly with their most recent Shape Tape foundation release and lack of shades for people of colour. 3 shades out of 15 is ridiculous. I'm sorry, if you're only doing 15 shades, then you do 5 light, you do 5 tan, you do 5 dark, deep dark. You don't do 12 shades of beige and 3 colours for people who have more melanin. It's 2018. People of colour buy just as much, if not more, makeup than people my colour do. You are missing an absolute mine of money if you are not catering to people who have deeper skin tones. Fenty launched with, 40 shades? Huda launched with 30 shades. MAC is... MAC's got pretty much every colour under the sun. The issue I have with MAC is the testing on animals that they do. But, if it's the only place you can get foundation light enough or dark enough for you, you kind of have to bite the bullet, and that's not right. It's not right, it's not fair. And it's not a good business decision either. But that rant out the way, this palette, love. It smells like chocolate. This is a great palette for travel. I'm trying not to blind you with the packaging because obviously you've got bronzer, blush, highlight, and you've got 3 different looks. You've got a warm orangey look, you've got a more neutrally brown look, and you've got a purpley look. So in terms of travel, this is great. It's Graveyard Girl. Believe in yourself, love yourself, embrace your individuality. You really can't see, just it's in my camera. But yeah, this is a great palette. Some Tarte palettes are a bit hit and miss, but this one, I have to go really, really lightly with the bronzer on this, because otherwise I look like I've been rolling in Doritos for half an hour. But Graveyard Girl, Swamp Queen, and I love the wooden effect packaging as well. It's really cute. It did actually come with a brush that I've not used yet, to be perfectly honest, which also has a lovely wooden effect handle, and it's a really soft mini kabuki. This would be great for blending out any kind of creams, really. If you've got cream contour or something like that, that'd be great for that. But yeah, this is my. I don't want to support Tarte, but I've got to admit I do reach for this palette an awful lot. I'm not going to throw away the Tarte stuff that I've already bought, but I will not be buying anything more until I see a fairer shade range in all of their foundation lines. Because it's not fair that friends of mine who have beautiful skin cannot find their colour in Tarte foundations. So do you know what? I'll use what I've got. I'll demo the stuff that I've got, so that if Tarte does do your colour and you want to buy one of the, I think I've got 3 of their foundations at the moment. I've got the Amazonian Clay, I've got the Stick Foundation, and I've got the Rainforest of the Sea. So I will at some point do foundation reviews of those, just so you can see what they're like. God, look at the state of my hair, running away with itself. But I'm not going to buy any more Tarte products until I see them having a much expanded foundation range. End of. My next go-to, and I'm pretty sure everybody will have this on their go-to list, is my Modern Renaissance from Anastasia. Again, warm tone palette, which is weird because I prefer cool tone shadows, but I've got a lot of warm tone palettes because that's all that seemed to be released in 2017 and 2016. This is lovely. This is actually my second one because I panned Born Fresco, I panned this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I ended up giving my one that was, you know, in pieces and with hardly any colours left, to a friend of mine, and I just bought another one because I really, really like this. This is such a good. This is a really good formula. This is not your subculture. This doesn't have a huge amount of fallout. It blends beautifully. It lasts throughout the day. It's what an eyeshadow should be, really. Now, my second and first place in terms of my favourite, you can probably guess. It's my 2 Jeffreys. Of the 2, I probably use Androgyny more. So let's talk about Beauty Killer first. This was his first release. Beautiful big mirror, huge great pans, lovely. You look at that initially and you think, oh my god, that's going to be so bright. But if I cover those 2 up, are you telling me you can't make a nice neutral look out of all of these? Of course you can. But you've got your pops of colour if you want them. These are like butter. They blend so well. I mean, this was my first high-end palette that I bought, and this was the one that made me realise there is actually a difference between this kind of palette and this kind of palette. You know, it's, yes, you can get really good drugstore eyeshadow palettes, but there are some higher end ones that just blow them out of the water, and I guess that's what you're paying for. The one of his that I use the most though is my Androgyny palette. I haven't got the new one yet. I'm waiting for it to come to Beautylish. Again, lovely big mirror, and you can crack the spines so you can hold it easily. Now if you look at this, the top row is all of your warm neutrals. so you can get your everyday looks, and your bottom row are your colours. So look, if you look at that there, you can't tell me that's not a warm neutrals. So there's your everyday for work look. And then you look at that, and look at that in terms of beautiful colours for evenings, for going out, for weekends, or just for adding a pop of colour. If you're going out straight from work, stick this in your handbag. Transition shade, smoke it out, a little bit of this on the lid. Then before you go out in the evening, put this through your crease, or put this through your crease, or this one, just to deepen it up, give it a bit more colour, a bit more oomph. Put more of this on your lid, smoke the bottom one out with one of these, and you know, you've changed your look from daytime to evening in a split second. Sorry, I do keep looking at my viewfinder and not at you. I'm still new at this, bear with. But there you go. That is my top 5 drugstore, cheaper, more economical palettes, and my top 5 high-end, more expensive, bit of a splurge, but definitely worth it palettes. I hope you found it interesting, I hope you found it useful. Do let me know in the comments if there's a palette I haven't mentioned that you absolutely adore, be it drugstore or high-end. If you've got these, let me know what you think of them. You know, do they work well for you? Have you tried Blush Tribe yet if you're in the UK? If not, why not? You really need to give them a go. They look like they're going to be a pretty good company. On that note, I'm getting really thirsty. I'm going to have a bit of a... So I've got a voice to finish the video with. Right, that's the end of this. So these are my top 2 palettes that I recommend. Hope you have an absolutely fabulous day. If you've liked this video, please let me know. It'd be great if you subscribed and click the little bell to join my notification squad, and then you'll know every time I upload something new. Looks like it's actually stopped snowing. Keep your fingers crossed for us, folks. Okay, have an absolutely great day and see you again soon. Bye bye now.